Choke, no joke, Chicky choke, no joke. Choke, no joke, Chicky choke, no joke. Oh, we in the building, baby. We are definitely here now. Choke, no joke. We're breaking news. Check, 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 check. Michelle Frizzy first in the building. Sorry for the delay, Michelle Frizzy. I know you've been waiting a minute. All right. All love. Second in the building. Sorry to keep you delayed, brother. All right. Or sister. I don't know. CJ in the building. What up? Talisa Renee, where you been at? You abandoned us. We ain't see you in a minute, baby girl. Where you been? Where you been? Choke no joke. We in the building with breaking news, y'all. We in the building with breaking news. Shout out to my man Kareem Smiggity dropping me a line. Chuck Dickinson in the building. What up? Drew the Don't. What up? Oh, Drew the Dawn. My bad. Shot in the building. My fellow Americans, salute. CC Crippen in the building. Got your colors on today, CC Crippen. Now Fern in the building. Kareem Smiggity is definitely here. My guy. Mickey, you made it. What's good? Cypress TV in the building. Mike Miggity, what up? My man Mike Morgan in the building. My baby Fatima B is here. C. Mary, I see you. Choke no joke. We in the building, man. Day Lee, what up? Steelers girl, what up? Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow. Taiwan in the building. They coming in. Choke no joke. We here. Hilltop Hustlers is here. All right. Choke no joke. You already know we got breaking news. We got breaking news. All right. For all those who didn't know, now you know. We got some breaking news today. I got some other things I want to get into. I got some Keefe D updates on the core system. So if you didn't know, you are tuned in to the best show on YouTube, Choke No Joke Live. All right? Wait till y'all see this one. And I got one for your man, Bobby Ladd. Yeah. Y'all be capping. uh, what is it? Blondie and Ladd. Rest in peace to Blondie. But y'all lying, bro. Y'all lying. And we about to get into it. Choke no joke. Hit your people up. Let them know I'm live. We got an exclusive right now. And I'm about to get into it. All right? You already know. And you haters, keep on hating. You know what it is.
Yeah. Jack Brown. You know what it is. Keep on hating. You know what it is. Never did I think hip-hop go this far. Never did I think I see Diddy behind bars or kills. Penitentiary scars. The Man Act. Is it going too far? Back. Y'all industry rats. Y'all whack. That's 100. On Pyro. You'll be trapped like Pac. The go viral. Gene saw the nuts at gyro. At the freak off and Diddy too. But plug shopper, freak door stopper. Nigga, you don't know if you a criminal or a cop. But you're next to be locked. Ask Keefe D. Telling on yourself on Vlad TV. You dumb nigga, you right. You never be me. And I never be you too. fell through. You friended no one, like the moon. What did you do? Sat back and watched him get groomed. Only badge in the room, you and wifey, drunk the juice. Saw the check for Pac's life, and his back right. Guess it's bad boy for life, or should I say same gang? You the same lane, that did he let hang, and now he chain gang. Damn, you rocked him, fella, didn't you? For the mozzarella, did it for Wolf and his mother, D-Ferg and Kurt Burrow. Nah, nigga, you did it cause your ass ain't thorough, and you ain't from the boroughs. Joke, no joke, you know what it is. This one's for the whole earth, you know, when they get disrespectful. I just go to the booth and kick the truth to the young black youth. Joke, no joke, you know what it is. Keep on hating, you know what it is.
Choke, no joke. Chicky, choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. I'm in the building. Come on in, come on in. Let me just send out this quick notification. So, choke, no joke. Shout out to everybody in the building. If you don't have a problem hitting the like button, if you have the capability of hitting the like button, please do that. I would appreciate it to help me send out these notifications. You know what I mean? If you're new to the channel, you know, please hit that subscription button. It costs you nothing. It's just a push of a button. It's free. Don't worry, you're not going to get charged anything. So, yeah, so should I go live on Instagram? I think I may. Yeah, I'm gonna go live on Instagram because I got some real good information for y'all today. All right, Kitty, thank you. I appreciate it for subscribing and hitting that like button. All right, BRX Bonner in the building. Shout out to all my moderators in the building. Happy New Year, Yonsei. All right, y'all. I'm getting into it right now. I want to give a shout out to my man Infrared. Seen him at the Texaco on MLK. You know what I mean? Show me love. So shout out to my man Infrared. If you don't know, now you know. Got some other shout outs I want to give out at the end of the show. But Instagram, I'm live on YouTube. If y'all want to see the show on YouTube, just go on my stories, hit the link. Into my story, and it'll bring you to YouTube. All right. So, breaking news, right? We got several breaking news, right? One is y'all know that when was it? In last month, last year, uh my man Keefe D put in a motion to file to suppress the evidence that they raided his house in. If y'all excuse me, if y'all remember that show, I did a show, I don't know if it was around Christmas or whatever, but one of the uh one of the shows that I did last month uh was a show about Keefe D lawyers filing a suppression uh for for the evidence that they raided his house in, because they said that they raided his house at a certain time, right? Hold on one second, y'all. Yeah, I'm back. So, um, yeah, so they filed a motion to suppress the evidence that they obtained when they did that raid on his house. Now, they argument was that um they raided the house in during hours that wasn't legal, because they posed a raid, I think, between the hours of 7 and 7, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., or 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., somewhere around that. But if y'all remember the footage of Keefe D house being raided in his nighttime, not the daytime footage, because a lot of people get it confused when they see the police roll up on him like, "Hey, Keefe D," and it's daytime outside, and they arrest him right there. That's not the footage, or that's not the raid where they went in his house and obtained, and took information from his house. It's the nighttime one where you see they late, when it's late, and they run up in there and all the police is out there and they got the lights on and everything. That's the argument that the defense, that's the night that defense is arguing, that they saying that that wasn't uh a legal search and procedure for them to raid his house at that time, right? So they put in a motion to suppress any of that evidence that they was able to obtain in that raid. So the today or yesterday rather, the judge granted to hear their arguments. So that's the first breaking news, right? Because if the judge is impressed with what the defense is saying, then anything and everything that they got during their raid, they're not going to be able to use that in the trial. Now, what was in that evidence, we don't know. Was it the gun that killed Tupac? I doubt that highly, right? But Um, for me, I think it will probably be transcripts and things of that nature from him writing that book and stuff. I don't think that there's anything as far as hardcore evidence in the murder that uh that they obtained in that search. But whatever it is, they got a chance to get that thrown out. Now, the most interesting thing about this whole thing is as soon as the judge granted to hear their arguments to, for suppression late last night, early in the morning, rather, or whatever time it was, right? Keefe D got house, his Keefe D house got raided by some dudes. Now, I know not the police. He had a home invasion at his house in Henderson in Las Vegas. Now, why did dudes go and break the Keefe D house yesterday? Right when the judge granted to hear their motions to suppress the evidence. It's very interesting. So that's breaking news right there. That dudes, Keefe D had a home invasion yesterday, and I wonder who was behind it. Could it have been gang members from either side? Who knows? Trying to send Keefe D a message to be like, nigga, you better shut up. Could have been the corrupt cops sending a message, you better shut up. But clearly, somebody is sending Keefe D a message by running up in his house, right? What were they looking for? Who knows? But the good thing is that Keefe D neighbors uh, alarms caught surveillance footage of the dudes running up in his house. So we'll see what happens when Las Vegas news report on this story today. Because some people out here, if the news ain't reported, then it ain't real. If it don't come on the news, but we in a new day and era where the streets, we are the news. We report things first before. If you worked in real TV like I did, you know it's a process to get stuff on television. There's writers, there's producers, there's approval, there's layers of stuff before the news, the local news, or the international news, or the domestic news, or the national news get to report on stuff. They can't jump up on on Instagram. They can't jump up on YouTube like us because they have to go to chains of command. And if it goes to a certain level of command and it's something that they don't want to get out to the public, they will shut it down. Okay? So when you listen to these goofballs out here talking about, oh, it would be on the news if it was real news, right? Let me tell you something. When I worked at BET, right? 2005, Hurricane Katrina happened, right? We was doing the story on the Hurricane Katrina called SOS, Save Ourselves, right? Me and a few other producers, right? People were sending us videos of what was really going on in New Orleans, right? Dead bodies floating in the water. Rest in peace to all those people, right? So we did these things that what we would call packages, right? The packages is similar to like a commercial, but like a trailer, right? The trailer like 3 minutes, 2 minutes, but it's like a commercial. In the package, we will put in between segments. So if we had a host that was talking about what was going on in Katrina, or like when you watching the news and the news anchor is sitting there telling you, well, this is going on in New Orleans right now. You know, it's floods going on. People are on top of roofs of houses, this, that, and the other. You know, you are now watching extra ABC News or whatever news, BET News at the time. You know, we'll be back after this, and we will cut to what we call a package, right? In the package, for us, when Hurricane Katrina happened, we took the footage of that people were sending us and stuff, showing the dead people in the water, people floating and things like that. We showed all the real stuff that was going on, right? Now, this is before the show airs. We we working on this stuff for days, right? I slept in the office for at least 2, 3 days. I washed up at the sink, right? Because we went so hard to give the people what was real and going on in New Orleans at the time of Hurricane Katrina, right? The day before we go to air this special, this BET special about Hurricane Katrina, right? I swear to God, to my pops, everybody under the sun, right? These guys came in the office. They was dressed up just like the men in black. Black suits, black shades, hats. You couldn't even really identify them outside of, their features and stuff, right? They came to look at the footage that we were about to air to the public, right? They go in the room. We not in the room. We can't even be in the room while they watching it, right? They looking at the show that we produced, right? They watch the special. They come out the office. They come out the conference room. They leave the office. Our superiors called us into their office and said, y'all got to scrap all of that. We like, what? Yeah, those packages y'all put in there, we got to scrap that. We got to lose that. We can't show that. What? This is black entertainment television. You tell me them two white guys came in here, looked at this footage, and now we can't air it? What's wrong with us airing it? This is what's really happening. Y'all try to argue with us. Y'all cannot air that footage. I swear to God. So when a person tell you just because it ain't on regular news that it ain't real, it's levels to this. Okay? It's levels to this. I know this because I worked in real TV. And then years later, here comes Spike Lee with a documentary on Hurricane Katrina, and he's showing some of the stuff that we weren't even able to show, but it was years later. So know that certain stuff, if they don't want the public to have it, the public won't get it. Please don't come in here saying other shows' names. I don't care to hear it. I'm gonna delete you. Next time I'm gonna block you. Don't come putting nobody else name in my comments. If you know, you know. If they don't know, they don't need to know. But I'll block you. Just giving you a heads up. Now, let's move on. So, if you just tuned in, you are live and direct with Choke No Joke. All right, legendary videographer, producer, director. Right. Breaking news: Keefe D's house has been invaded by some thugs, gang members, street dudes. We don't know what they are. But the good thing for Keefe D's family is it was all captured on video by the neighbors, you know. So whoever ran up in there, you will see them on the news, hopefully, if the neighbors give up that footage to the police, which the police already have anyway. You know what I'm saying? Now, I want to get deep for a minute in this Tupac situation. Now, many of y'all probably have seen this video with Robert Ladd or Bobby Ladd or whatever he want to go by, right? You know them from the Compton police officers, Bobby and Ladd. I mean Blondie and Ladd, which is Tim Brennan is Blondie and Robert Ladd, right? Rest in peace to Tim Brennan. He has passed away since he's done a few interviews back then, right? But Tim Brennan, he actually didn't divulge a lot of this information. A lot of this information had came from Robert Ladd, right? After Tim Brennan passed away, because I went back and watched the interview with both of them, and Robert Ladd, he just flying off at the mouth about stuff, and he asked Tim Brennan, "Yo, can we talk about it?" Tim Brennan's like, he just like, no, got his head down the whole time because he knows that he don't be supposed to be talking about a murder case, right? Um, as an officer and a person that was on the task force. Now, when the Compton Police Department got closed down, y'all remember it became a sheriff department. Tim Brennan was still working at the sheriff's department. Bobby Ladd, they sent off somewhere else, right? And then Tim Brennan wound up working with Greg Caden and them on the Wrap It Up task force, which was hired to prove that LAPD cops didn't have no dealings in the Biggie murder, which that spilled over into the Tupac thing because Reggie Wright Jr., who was a suspect in the Biggie murder, when Greg Caden and them went to Reggie, he told them Southside killed Biggie in retaliation for not getting paid for killing Tupac, allegedly, right? Which I talked about the other day. Tim Brennan working on that task force was a conflict of interest because he used to work for Reggie Wright Sr., right? And he worked for the Compton PD, which to me is a conflict of interest, right? So, how does the story goes? If y'all remember the story about the 40 Glock that got taken off of Fatal Hussein when they tried to go into the House of Blues when Tupac had a show at the House of Blues. The 40 Glock that Fatal had, security at the House of Blues or off-duty cop took the gun from him. Uh, Reggie and them tried to get the gun or not get and made sure that he didn't get arrested. But so he didn't arrest Fatal, but he took the gun and he told Reggie and them uh, that if the gun came back clean, that he would give the gun back to them, right? So ultimately, he sent the gun over to Santa Monica, the police department. The gun was tested. It came back clean. They gave the gun back to Reggie, right? Now Kevin Hackey tells this story because we know Kevin Hackey was an undercover ATF agent working to be a spy at Death Row, but he also was working for Reggie Wright Jr., who was Reggie Wright Jr.'s security company, um, Right Way Security, right? So they didn't know Hackey was undercover at the time, but today we know that because it was revealed that he was undercover working for the ATF and I think the FBI, right? So that 40 Glock gun was returned back to Reggie, right? Reggie tells two different stories about this gun. And a deposition, he says that he took that gun and he gave it to his father, and his father booked it into the Compton PD's evidence locker, right? Which really makes no sense, right? They give you a gun back and you go and give the gun to your father for him to put it in the evidence locker in the Compton PD. That sounds not believable. But then there's the other story that Reggie Wright Jr. tells where he took the gun, kept the gun, and when they went to the Bahamas, where Suge got violated because he left the country and was not supposed to leave, or according to Suge, they told him that he was cleared to leave the country and go to the Caribbean after Tupac got killed or whatever, and he was on probation, and they went over there, and then on their way back, Reggie saying he took the gun with them on that trip, but on the way back, Reggie says he gave the gun to one of the security guys, and they threw the gun in the ocean. Right? What would be the purpose of throwing the gun in the ocean? Right? Maybe, possibly, because when Suge and them came back from their trip, when they docked back into the United States, the feds was there waiting on them, right? And maybe Reggie knew the feds was going to be there waiting for him. This is why he's telling this story that he allegedly threw the gun in the ocean, right? And according to Suge, that day Reggie was so scared that he defecated on himself, right? When they pulled up to the dock and all the FBI agents was there. Suge said he literally defecated on himself, right? He was so scared. And Suge was looking at him like, oh, nigga, you lined me up, huh? Right? So a lot of people think Suge got violated because of the Orlando Anderson fight, but he really got violated for leaving the country. But his lawyer and Reggie and them told him he was clear, to come to find out he wasn't clear. And that's how he got violated and stuff. Because who would have knew about the fight in the MGM Grand? Nobody got arrested for the fight at the MGM Grand. Nobody in Los Angeles knew about the fight in the MGM Grand. For Suge to get violated for that, for them to bring him in. He got violated because he left the country, right? The MGM Grand fight only got the video only got subpoenaed by David Kenner to later on after that, right? So moving forward, right? The gun, according to Reggie, was thrown in the water, or whichever one you choose to believe. He gave it to his dad, and his dad put it in the evidence locker, right? So it don't make sense to me for him to throw a gun in the water, right? Unless he knew when they came back, he didn't want to have that gun on him because he knew the feds was right there. But you choose to believe whatever story you want to believe, right? But however, do remember, this is the gun that Fatal had at the House of Blues, which was a 40 Glock, right? Which Tupac got killed with a 40 Glock. So later on in the story, down the line, Tim Brennan says he's in the Compton evidence room and he's looking at guns, right? Because they were looking for the gun a 40 Glock because this is the gun that killed Tupac. It wasn't that they was looking for the gun that killed Biggie, because Biggie got killed with a 9mm, right? Not a 40 Glock, right? So Tim Brennan is saying, wait, before I get to that, right? There's another story that Corey Edwards' parents' dog dug up a 40 Glock in their backyard and uh was running. The dog dug up this gun in the backyard and was running around the backyard with a gun in his mouth. They one of his parents came out, seen the dog. He had a gun in his mouth. They took the gun. They called the police. The police took this 40 Glock and they put it in, and it went into the Compton PD's evidence locker. Right. Ironically, this happened the day after Orlando Anderson got killed. Rest in peace to Orlando Anderson, right? What is the chances that this dog finds a gun buried in Corey Edwards' backyard the day after Orlando Anderson is dead? And according to Reggie Rice Sr., um, he says that uh, Orlando Anderson gave a dying declaration that he killed Tupac, right? So as he was laying there, he was about, I killed Tupac. And then he died, right? Now, we all know that Orlando Anderson, all his life, after being accused of killing Tupac, that he's always denied it, right? So just because he was shot up, he didn't know he was going to die. He could have made it to the hospital, got patched up, and been good, right? So why would he confess to a murder that he always said that he never did? But conveniently, Reggie Rice Sr. shows up is the first responder when Orlando Anderson get killed, and he gives this dying declaration saying that he killed Tupac. The next day, they find the gun that allegedly killed Tupac at Corey Edwards' house by a dog who dug up a gun, right? He ain't no canine dog. This dog is a regular pit bull, whatever it was, right? But for some reason, he know how to smell metal or smell a gun and dig it up, right? And ran around the yard with the gun in his mouth. Until the parents came out, seen him, they called the police. Hey, our dog found this gun in our yard. They take the gun, they book the gun into the Compton evidence locker, right? So fast forward when the Brennan or Blondie, he's going through the Compton's evidence locker. They checking, looking for 40 Glocks because Tupac got killed with a 40 Glock. And then once again, this ain't even a case. This ain't even a jurisdiction, right? So why are they trying to solve this Tupac murder? And it has nothing to do with the other than Southside Crips live in Compton. But it's not their murder. Excuse me. It's not their murder investigation, right? At all. So why are they trying to solve it? Right? And remember, the night Tupac got shot, within the hour, Reggie Wright Jr. called Reggie Wright Sr. and said Orlando Anderson shot Tupac. Right? Reggie Wright Jr. wasn't at the fight at the MGM Grand. Reggie Wright Jr. wasn't in the caravan, right? When Suge and Tupac car got shot up, And when Tupac and Suge car got shot up, and they went and bust that U-turn on Flamingo and went up to Las Vegas Boulevard and made that left between and was stuck between Flamingo and East Harmon. They was jacked up by the police right there. The Outlaws, everybody is all over there. Reggie Wright Jr. didn't even go to the scene where they was at, and he was head of security. He didn't see everybody until 2-3 hours later when he showed up at the hospital. So he's head of security. He hears from, allegedly, from him, Neckbone and Buntree came over to Club 662 and said, yo, Suge and them just got shot. And you tell me, Reggie didn't go to the scene of the crime? He didn't go over there, head of security, to see if they was all right? Nobody sees him for 2 to 3 hours later. But however, he was able to call his dad within that hour and tell him that it was Orlando Anderson. He didn't say Southside. He told his father exactly who did it. And today, the world don't know who did it. But Reggie knew before speaking to anybody that Orlando Anderson did it. And this is no alleged because his father said it in several interviews, right? Reggie called me and told me Orlando Anderson just shot Tupac. How would he know that, right? Now, another sidebar. I know I'm jumping all over the place, but if you've been on my channel long enough, you following me, right? After the white Cadillac shot up, according to Keefe story, after it shot up the BMW, it made a right onto Koval. It drove all the way down to Koval, made another right on East Harmon, stopped on Audrey Street, parked right there, half a block from Koval, parked right there at the carriage house. They left the Cadillac there, and they put the gun on top of a tire, right? And then they went and they walked up to Las Vegas Boulevard. They saw Suge in them there, right? Getting jacked up by the police, right? But ironically, nobody seen these niggas, right? But they was able to see Suge in them, right? And then they made the left and went down to the Monte Carlo, which is now the Park MGM, which is 0.8 miles from where they parked the car at, right? The next day, when they go to the Cadillac, the gun is gone. Now, who went and picked up the gun? We know somebody was missing for 2 to 3 hours, right? Who went and picked up that gun, right? A 40 Glock, right? Ironically, that same 40 Glock comes down the line, according to Brennan or Blondie, to be a match, allegedly, right? As the gun that killed Tupac, right? Or maybe it was another 40 Glock. But we know that 40 Glock that was put on top of the tire went missing. Keefe and them came back to the car. The gun is gone, right? Now, I don't know who it makes sense to that these dudes would shoot up somebody on Koval and Flamingo, drive 1.5 blocks around the corner and park a white Cadillac in a hotel parking lot as if the hotel didn't have surveillance cameras to see these guys pull up, leave a gun on the tire, and walk away. 4 guys walking down the street, right? So, this big ass shooting happens, and these 4 guys are walking down the street together. And the white Cadillac is right around the corner. So you telling me the police didn't find this white Cadillac that was right around the corner? Literally right around the corner. Just something for y'all to think about while I get into my next point, right? Now, Blondie finds this gun in the evidence locker that was found in Corey Edwards' backyard, right? That his dog dug it up, and his parents called the police. They came, picked up the gun, and they put it in the Compton evidence locker, right? So when Blondie sees this gun that came from Corey Edwards' home, and he sees this gun, and he goes and he looks at the paperwork and see, oh, this gun came from Corey Edwards' house. Corey Edwards' house. He's a Southside Crip. He was in Vegas with Keefe D and them when the shooting happened, and Tupac got killed with a 40 Glock. And there's a 40 Glock coming from the Southside Crips on Corey Edwards' backyard. I'm going to test this gun, right? He tests the gun. It comes back a match as the gun that killed Tupac, according to him, right? Let me tell you where's the problem at with that. Now, one, the Compton PD doesn't have the capability to do a ballistics test on guns, right? That's one. So where did he test his gun at? He would have to take that gun to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department to run a test. He said he shot the gun and did a test on the gun, and it came back a match for Tupac. Compton PD don't have a ballistics department for him to check a gun. So if he took the gun, let's say what he would have had to do is he would have had to take the gun to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department to get the gun tested. Now he takes the gun to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department headquarters, and he fires this gun to see if it's a match for Tupac, right? How did he know, and how could it be that the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department has anything to match against the gun that killed Tupac? You telling me they had the bullets that killed Tupac in LA? No, Las Vegas got that. So what is he matching this gun against? What are he matching these bullets against? So you saying that Los Angeles Sheriff's Department or the Compton PD, if you want to say you tested it there, which we know they don't have no capability, what are you matching the gun against in Compton or in Los Angeles? What evidence do you have it to match it against to say that it's a match? I'm waiting for somebody to tell me. How did he know that the sheriff had a test on the gun that shot Tupac? Why would they have it and it's not their case or their jurisdiction? Now, the same thing when the cop that took the gun off of Fatal and brought it to Santa Monica to run the test. The Santa Monica Police Department don't have a ballistics department to test guns. They also would have to send the gun to the Los Angeles Sheriff Department to get a test done. right? Now, let's just say if the gun was a match for the gun that killed Tupac. If the gun that came off of Fatal went to Santa Monica, which would have went to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department or headquarters to be tested, right? And then for Blondie or Brennan to say that the gun was a match and he would have had to take that gun from Compton evidence locker to the sheriff's department, right? To run the test, to say that it's a match, right? As the gun that killed Tupac. Who would have known that that gun had, if that was the gun that Fatal had, that was in Corey's backyard? Who's the only people that would have known that gun got tested by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department? Reggie or Kevin Hackey, right? Right or wrong? You know that's the gun, allegedly, because you know that's the gun that got taken off of Fatal, right? Now, Reggie, he don't work for the police department no more. So he on the outside, but his daddy's on the inside, right? And they knew about that gun from the House of Blues, right? So it's pretty clear that being that Brennan or Blondie used to work for Reggie's daddy, that somebody's sharing some information around here, allegedly. Because if Reggie get jammed up, like he did in his drug case, it pulls his daddy in, like in his drug case. Just like we know when Suge went to jail, Suge wasn't being investigated for money laundering, allegedly. Allegedly, that would have been Reggie, who bragged about how he ran Death Row and how he had all these fancy cars and all this stuff on a security guard salary. He had all this stuff. He was able to buy Suge building, all this stuff with what money? Because it came out later that he was drug trafficking, money laundering, right? Now, getting back to Robert Ladd or Bobby Ladd, he's the one that's telling this story about Brennan finding the gun in Corey Edwards' backyard. He's the one talking about stuff that he shouldn't even be talking about. And how do he know this information? He wasn't down, he didn't work at the sheriff's department with them when they closed the Compton PD down. He wasn't working with Gray Caden and Tim Brennan and Darren Dupree on the Wrap It Up task force. So how do he know this information? This is privileged information. So how would Robert Ladd know this unless Blondie was telling his old buddy information that he shouldn't have even been privy to, and now he on Vlad telling it. Blondie wasn't supposed to be sharing information with Robert Ladd because he was no longer working with them. This was a murder investigation. All that information is privileged information. How is he on Vlad talking about this stuff? Not to mention, Reggie Rice Sr. is both Blondie and Lad's old boss. Right? Because if they all sharing information, then that means information is getting shared to Pork Butt. And this is all privileged information that they shouldn't even know about on this from this task force. But as you can see, Pork Butt always the first to jump on the internet to give some goddamn information that he shouldn't even be privileged to. So where is he getting it from? There's no way that you can check a gun for a match unless there's a previous example of what the gun has done. That means when the Santa Monica sent that gun to be tested by the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, that they will have that information in the computer. Now, what was that match to? To say that it was a match, what was it matched to? Y'all had the slugs from Tupac to know that the grooves that come from the chamber of the gun, to know that it was a match. Y'all had slugs from Tupac. How would he know that it was a match unless he had a previous example of what the gun has done? Are y'all following me here? That means when Santa Monica tested that gun at the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, that they had to take it to the sheriff's lab, right? So if it came back a match, that means it had already been a sample of that gun in the computer. And what was it matched to? What are they matching it against? Are you matching it to a gun that you know that was already down there or if it came through there? So that means that the gun had already been tested, right? If that gun was a match, and he says a match for Tupac's murder, that means that gun had already been tested somewhere for it to be a match. And how are you going to test a gun against a bullet unless you have both of them? Somebody got to ask Robert Ladd these questions since he the one that came out and talked about it, even though he wasn't on the case. He knows this information. He's a cop. He's been around long enough. How are you going to test a gun against a bullet unless you have both of them? If the sheriff's department don't have anything to test against, how could they have a match? So are you saying that the Los Angeles Sheriff Department had the bullets that shot Tupac from the Los Angeles Metro Police Department? Robert Ladd? You telling me Vegas gave out the bullets? And say, here, run the gun, match that the chamber of that gun, and see if them grooves match these same grooves on the bullets, the slugs from Tupac. That's what you telling us. Because we know the barrel leaves the mark. So you have to have the bullets to see if it's a match to the gun in question, Robert Ladd. You have to have the bullets from the same gun. So you tell me y'all got a match, and that was the gun that killed Tupac. How did y'all get the bullets from Vegas to have a match? So Robert Ladd, my question to you is, how could the sheriff say that it was a match unless they had something to match it against? Now, y'all can ask any cop this information. Y'all can ask any cop if what I'm saying is correct. How could they match say the gun was a match unless they had something to match it against? So you tell me they got the bullets, the slugs, and stuff from Tupac from Las Vegas to say that that gun was a match? And if it was a match, and Keefe D and them parked the white Cadillac at the carriage house and they left the gun on the tire and they come back and the gun is gone, how did that gun end up in Corey Edwards' backyard? To be a match, right? So if Keefe D and them lost the gun, who came and picked up the gun for it to wind up in Corey Edwards' backyard? To be a match as the gun that killed Tupac. I'm going to ask y'all that question again. If Keefe D and them saying they drove around the corner to the carriage house, parked the gun there, left the gun on the tire, and the reason they probably ain't leave the gun inside the car is because whoever was coming to pick that gun up didn't want their DNA in that car. They didn't even want to touch the car. They just wanted to come and pick that gun up off that tire and throw it over Corey Edwards' backyard the day after Orlando Anderson get killed and say, oh, this is the gun that killed Tupac. So, once again, if if Keefe D and them said they drove around the corner to the carriage house, which I don't believe any of them dudes was in the car. I believe it was them crooked cops, right? because nobody in that car is light skinned with a bald head and a mustache. It looked like a bitch in the face. And rest in peace, Gaddafi is the one who is the eyewitness who's seen them. All these other people, Reggie and all them, they wasn't even there. Even them chicks said it was only 2 people in the car. The first report say it was 2 people in the car. But if you want to believe lying ass Gray Caden, who also wasn't there, if you don't want to believe KVD first statement saying allegedly Reggie Wright Jr. and them orchestrated that Tupac murder in 98 when he gave that statement, if you don't want to believe that KVD is lying by judging by his body language and everything in all his interviews, and that he got 150,000, knowing that he got 150,000 to do that BET Chronicles thing to repeat whatever Gray Caden allegedly told him to say. If you don't believe that KVD's statement in Murder Rap is an involuntary statement that they telling him what happened and he just yeah, because he don't want to go to jail for the drugs that they set him up with. If you don't want to believe any of that, then believe this. KVD and them did it. They drove around the corner, put the gun on the tire, and went to their hotel 0.8 miles away and walked past Suge and them, and none of these niggas recognized them from the MGM Grand Fight and didn't do anything to them, and they was able to go over there to the scene, see them, and then go to their hotel, come back the next day, and the gun that was on the tire, the gun that did the shooting, winds up in Corey Edwards' backyard after the day after Orlando Anderson get killed and gave this dying declaration that he killed Tupac. That the gun that was on the tire wind up in Corey Edwards' backyard and then found by Tim Brennan in the evidence locker and ran and tested at the Compton PD where they ain't got no capability of testing the gun. And let's just say he did take it to the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department to be tested, that this gun came back a match as the gun that was left on the tire that killed Tupac. And these dudes ran a test and matched it with nothing to match it against. What did they match the gun against for it to be a match? What evidence did the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department have to say that this gun is a match? For later, for them to say they took the gun and gave it to Las Vegas, and they said it wasn't a match. What is going on here? Now, Tim Brennan finds these guns, but remember all them guns that went missing out of the Compton evidence locker? This is why it was 500 unsolved murders, because these guns went missing out of the evidence locker. And in 2008, the Compton Police Department was closed. So the sheriff's department was able to go in there and just go through the guns when he was on the task force. If Blondie was on the Wrap It Up task force and went into the sheriff's office in 2008, it was none of that stuff in the locker then. Man, listen. Remember, the city manager found those guns that was missing in 2017 at the old city hall. It was a locker there. Okay. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned in to Choke No Joke Live. The breaking news is somebody ran up in Keefe D house yesterday, not the police, some street dudes. It should be on the news at any given moment. You ain't got to believe me because it ain't on the news. Because if it ain't on the news, it ain't real. All right? I'm your news source. And some dudes ran up in Keefe D's house. Neighbors' surveillance cameras or security cameras caught the act. And we'll hear more about this later on in the day with more details. But that is the breaking news, along with the judge has decided to listen to the defense motions to suppress. Which means the evidence that was obtained in that raid on Keefe D's house may begin thrown out. If the judge feels like it was what they saying is right, they entered at an illegal time for the search and procedures. So Keefe D may be getting lucky, y'all. He may be getting lucky, and they may take and throw all that evidence out. So, with that being said, you haters keep hating, and I'm going to keep creating. All right? And I'll be back later. Make sure y'all get that Tunnel documentary. Is out right now on Tubi, Amazon Prime, Apple TV, right here on YouTube, Mustache Movies. Choke No Joke, you already know. The Public Enemy, I'm here. I'll be back. Hit that like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. All right, Bert, what up? I see you. CC Crippen, my fellow Americans, thanks for holding it down. All right, to Lisa Renee, my moderator, his squad. Shout out to my members. Choke No Joke. I'll at y'all later. One. Choke No Joke. Jack Brown. Yeah, now.
Choke No Joke. Jack Brown. Yeah. This what ATL in New York sound like. Let's go. Y'all hating ass niggas, I see y'all. Choke get busy, that's why I got the crown. Hate in the air. You clowns, I see the envy that you breed, jealousy. What you need is your own damn hustle. Stop worrying about mine. Nigga, I'm poppin' cause I put in time. Came out modeling, camera in hand. Still get busy with the mic in hand. Streets pulled out, niggas got sprayed. Niggas turn on you when they see you get paid. The intimidation in your face. Where's the love? What's taking place? You want my gold and my ducats, cause my money overflowing out of buckets. Shot him in public, made people holler. Scar on his face for the money and the power. I'm the chokester. Chokester. The truth in the industry made me the chokester. 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 The truth in the industry made me the got in was young. Thought talent made you rich, damn was dumb. More to make, cake from crumbs. You gotta be sweet, G or native tongue. My heartbeat went into overload. When Larry tried to turn me into a mole, told me show my curly to the CEO. I didn't think it's funny, so his jaw hit the floor and grabbed that chair that broke his back. Then realized that's a hate attack. Harassment comes assault, you in the maze. No way out, like Puff and Mace. Touch me, tease me, I catch a case. Nigga, you ain't straight as your poker face. Father law God, in that game I fold. This sun don't tick, demon time don't hold. I'm the choker. Choker. The truth in the industry made me the choker. 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 The truth in the industry made me the choker. Choker. The truth in the industry made me the choker. Choker. On the ones and twos, choker. What y'all want to do? I'm here now. Eat a wall, stand up. Shout out to the bomb squad. Choke, no joke. Yeah. It's choke, no joke. Choke, no joke. Chicken choke, no joke. Choke, no joke.